Hi everyone, you're watching Tamit Saleh's Tennis Forum, and in this video we are going to be looking at the Paris Masters draw, Rafa Nadal's potential opportunity to finally win in Paris and also tie Novak Djokovic for 36 Masters 1000 titles. We are also going to be looking at the route for Rublev and Tsitsipas, who I believe are the other two strong contenders to take home the title, as well as some general stats and facts regarding the tournament. Now, before I begin, I would just like to give a massive thank you to my three Patreons, Gold Wolf, Mohammed Kali, and Haider Ramiz. Thank you so much for your support, and hopefully the content will just keep improving in quality. Once again, we are on a journey to hopefully 3,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. We're only about 140 away now. So if you are not subscribed, but you enjoy the content or you're watching this, or you enjoy this video, then please do drop a subscribe and also a thumbs up so YouTube can help promote the video to a wider audience. Let's set the target for this video to 200 thumbs up. That's quite a big target. But yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into the Paris Masters 1000. So the tournament was founded in 1968. Since then, the only player to have defended a title is Novak Djokovic, who he actually won it 3 times in a row between 2013 to 2015. Now I couldn't believe that. I mean, that's like almost 50 odd years of the Paris Masters 1000, and for players to not defend it is just, yeah, it's quite an interesting fact. The most titles has been won by Novak Djokovic as well. He's won 5 titles in Paris, and he is also the defending champion. However, he will not be here to defend it, so we are going to have another year where the title isn't defended. Nadal, as I mentioned earlier, probably the biggest ambition is to get that 8th Masters 1000 title, as in 8th different one, and also to tie Novak Djokovic for 36 Masters 1000. It's crazy how many these guys are going to. I reckon both will surpass 40, and you never know, 50 could even be a shout. If they can carry on for another three years perhaps, then we'd potentially be looking at 50 Masters 1000. But yeah, Rafa. So there's 4 players. So Novak Djokovic has the double career Masters, which is he's won all 9 Masters 1000 and he's won it twice, which is a phenomenal achievement. 4 players have won 7 of the 9. That includes Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, Andy Murray, and Andre Agassi. So Rafa Nadal can win his 8th one. I think this is probably his best opportunity to do so. He's off the back of a great French Open performance in Paris. Normally by this time of year he's had a long grueling season, perhaps a few niggles or injuries. He might be a bit burnt out, but he should be pretty fresh considering he's really not played that much tennis this year, because of obvious reasons. Now, before I go on to the roots of, for me, the 3 favorites, so Rafa Nadal, Stefanos Tsitsipas, who's the number 2 seed, and then also Andre Rublev, who's just on, he's having a brilliant year. Now, he's still got the final in Vienna to play against Lorenzo Sonego, and he hasn't proven himself in the bigger tournaments. He's not won a Masters 1000 or a Grand Slam yet, and the fun fact that I came across is he's never actually won a match in Paris. So maybe it's a bit risky to put him as up there as one of the favorites, but he's the 5th seed, so we are going to look at his roots. For the ranking points, now I know a lot of questions are asked, why do players not drop points, or why are they not gaining points? So I did explain it on one of my previous videos, which I will attach at the end of the video. But because of the COVID-19 rules, the points, they're changing less, let's say. So to keep it really brief, unless Rafa reaches at least the final, his points will remain the same, because last year he reached the semi-final. So unless he reaches the final or wins, he's gonna stay level on the points he has. So yeah, let's get straight into the draw, and we will begin with the tournament favorite, the number 1 seed, Mr. Rafael Nadal. His first appearance since that crushing victory against Novak Djokovic in the very same city, and his opening 2 rounds, I've noticed, could be identical to the opening 2 rounds Novak had in Vienna, which is Krajinovic first and then Borna Coric second. And Novak Djokovic in Vienna, he needed a first set tiebreak, both of which were very close against these players, and then he got, he won the second set, but it was very close for Novak, especially the first set. So we can see how Rafa performs against both Krajinovic and Coric. I think that's as hard as probably the opening 2 rounds can get. In the quarterfinals, David Goffin or Carreno Busta. Carreno Busta having a really good year. Goffin, I don't see giving Rafa any problems, really, either of them. And then in the semi-finals, it could be the big match between Rafa Nadal and Rublev, or it could be Sasha Zverev as well. So yeah, Sasha Zverev or Andrei Rublev in the semi-finals, and then in the final, Stefanos Tsitsipas and Daniil Medvedev. Now Sasha, he's got a lot of, let's say, outside of the tennis court issues. I know he's got this, I think his ex is pregnant, and he's got some domestic violence issues, so it'll be interesting to see how he fares here. But yeah, and in the finals, as I said earlier, Tsitsipas or Medvedev. I'm not very confident on Medvedev, hence why I'm not really going through his route. But the interesting thing about Daniil Medvedev is he could face Kevin Anderson in his opening match. Bearing in mind, Kevin Anderson literally yesterday beat him in the Vienna Open. Now we're gonna have to see how Anderson is because he did have to withdraw. But yeah, potentially Kevin Anderson could face Daniil Medvedev. Now looking at Rublev's route, the opening 2 rounds do seem a bit easier compared to Rafa, Hurkacz, and then potentially Wawrinka or Evans. Evans reaching the semi-finals of Vienna, but I would assume Rublev flies through those. Quarterfinal match against Zverev, that would be very interesting. Semi-final, as I said before, against Rafa Nadal, and then the final would be the same, Tsitsipas or Medvedev. For Tsitsipas, the draw is as follows. He could face either Hugo Humbert, sorry about the pronunciation, or Casper Ruud in the first round, which I think is a difficult tie. Then Felix or Auger-Aliassime or Marin Cilic in the second round. Now, I would say it would be Felix. However, with these next Gen Z, Gen X, I don't know what you want to call them, they're very inconsistent. So it could be Cilic, but I would expect Felix to come through. Quarterfinal, probably against Matteo Berrettini. Now he was in London last year. He needs to put in a strong showing if he wants to qualify again. Semi-finals, potentially against Daniil Medvedev or Diego Schwartzman perhaps. And then the final would be against Rafa or Rublev. So for me, those are probably the 3 most likely candidates to win. However, we've seen with tennis and all sports really, shocks can happen. Look at Vienna. Look at the semi-final lineup compared to the great players that entered Vienna. It was such a strong field. And then, yeah, it was shocks galore, really, as I mentioned in my previous video. So, yeah, that is the Paris Masters 1000 draw. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do let me know what you think. Will Rafa Nadal finally win Paris and also tie with Novak Djokovic on 36 Masters 1000 titles? And how many Masters 1000 can Rafa and Novak get to? Or will it finally be Rublev's time to win one of these big titles? Of course, loads of ramifications on qualifications for London. This is the last big opportunity for players to get a nice bulk of points, but there's so many possibilities mathematically that I'm not even going to go into that one. But yeah, as always, thank you so much for your continued support. Please do drop a thumbs up and share your comments below. Thank you very much.